Good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss about the bricks, which is in our subject construction material, third semester. Now let us talk about the what are the following units which we have to study. The first unit consists of unit one, which we are going to study. In this unit, the unit consists of the topic of stones, brick, mortar, and concrete. Okay. Now, in let's come to the topic the brick. The brick mainly consists of its manufacturing, its characteristics, its classification and uses, improved bricks from inferior soils, hand molding brick table, and clay fly ash brick table. Now I'm going to tell you about the manufacturing process of a brick, how the brick is constructed, how the brick is prepared, burning, its properties, its uses, test on brick. Definitely the all over the introduction about the brick I'm going to tell you about. Let's continue. It is a picture which clearly indicates that a brick, it is a rectangular shape of object. Let us say about the cuboid shape and having the dimension of 19 centimeter, having the length, the width 9 centimeter and height 9 centimeter. Let's talk about the what is brick. The brick is the most common usually construction material. Brick is prepared by molding clay in rectangular blocks of uniform size, and then it is drying and burning these blocks. That means the preparation of brick is just we have to extract the clay from the soil, then preparing it by adding water and some lime to prepare its form so that it can be converted into mold. Then after that it can be dry in the open atmosphere to remove the excess moisture present in it, and after that the burning it to give it in a rectangular or regular shape and size. In order to get a good quality of brick, the brick earth should be contain the following constituents. That means the constituent that which are the material which are contains in a brick like silica, alumina, lime, iron oxide, and manganese. First of all, let's talk about the silica. A good brick earth should contain about the 50 to 60 percentage of silica. That means the main material in brick is silica, which imparts 50 to 60% in it. Next point, the silica exists in the clay either as a free or combined form. That means the soil which you have taken out from the ground or earth surface contain lot of impurities, materials which may contaminate or which may affect the quality of brick. To avoid these things, the quality of brick, the silica should be free from any type of impurities present in it. Next, as a free sand, it is a mechanically mixed with clay, and in combined form, it exists in chemical composition with alumina. That means the sand which you have chosen and mixed with the clay contains chemically alumina. The presence of silica prevents the cracks on shrinking and wrapping of raw brick. That means after the molding, the brick tends to dry, it prevents from shrinking. That means the cracks or the shrinkage develops on the removing of excess moisture. It thus imparts a uniform shape of the brick. That means uniform shape means if it has a uniform size, uniform shape, uniform surface, sharp edges, corners, that it imparts in shape. The durability of the bricks depends upon the proportion of silica in the brick. That means the durability, how survival, how long the brick work, it depends on mainly the percentage of silica. Excess of silica destroyed cohesion between the particles and the bricks become brittle. That means the cohesion is the force or it is a mechanism in which the particles are bounded closely packed with each other. If the cohesion is not working, then on drying it gets deteriorated and not having the regular shape and size. Next comes to the second point, that is aluminum. It is the chief constituent or over all kind of clay. A good brick should contain 20 to 30% of aluminum. That means the first material, which is silica, the percentage is 50 to 60%, and the second one most important material is alumina, which having the percentage of 20 to 30%. This constituent impart plasticity to the brick so that it can be molded. That means the plasticity is a nature in the brick which it doesn't deform under any circumstances, and when we are going to mold the brick, it maintain its shape and size. If the alumina present in brick exceeds, the raw bricks get shrunken, and on wrapping during the drying and burning. That means after the removal of excess moisture in the presence of air, the brick is going to burn it, and then if the percentage of alumina exceeds, it gets shrinking and going get twisted on burning. Then lime. Lime is the basic material from used from ancient time, that it imparts binding, or it's used for binding of material in ancient time. The percentage of alumina should be in the range of 5 to 10% in a good brick. That means the binding requirement in the brick requires is 5 to 10%, because it is not a binding material. It is used in brick to bind the brick and get its regular shape and size. It prevents shrinkage of brick on drying. That means the shrinkage or the cracks which are going to occur in the bricks when we are going to drying in the open atmosphere, it prevents the cracks formation on the removal of moisture. It causes silica in clay to melt on burning and thus helps to bind. That means the temperature ranges goes to higher, nearby 1000 degrees of Celsius, and the silica is going to melt, then it helps it to bind all the silica particles in a regular manner. If the excess of lime causes brick to melt and lose its shape, if the percentage of lime exceeds, then the brick is going to lose its shape. That means it not able to maintain its regularity in shape and size. Now let's come to the iron oxide. A good brick should contain about 5 to 7% of iron oxide. The iron oxide is the main constituent which is responsible for the color impart in the bricks, that is red color. It improves impermeability and durability. Impermeability means that it not allow any kinds of material to pass the water through it. That means the if water is passed through the brick, then it absorbs the water, doesn't allow to pass through it, and it makes the durability of brick longer. That means the brick is longer stand and working without any failure. Next point, it gives strength and hardness. Definitely, it provides hardness and strength to the brick to resist the outer force exerting on it. If the present in excess, the color of the brick become dark blue. That means the percentage of iron oxide exceeds, it becomes dark color or blackish color. And if the percentage is lower, then it becomes yellowish color. That means for the requirement of our A class brick, that is the percentage should be lies between 5 to 7%. Now manganese. Manganese is a small quantity of material which is required about the 1%, and it imparts yellow tint to the brick and reduces shrinkage. That means one on drying, on burning, the material is going to shrink. Then if manganese is present in up to about 1%, it reduces the shrinkage on drying and the formation of cracks. Excess of manganese leads to decay of bricks. That means the brick going to deteriorate if the percentages increases. Now let's come to the manufacturing process of brick. It mainly consists of four processes, that is preparation of clay, then molding, then drying, and then burning. The first one is preparation of clay. That means the soil which is extracted out from the ground. Then the next step is to remove any kind of materials, impurities present in it. Then it add some material which are deficient in it, then preparing, then mixing, then the process comes molding, that giving it a regular shape and size. Then drying process consists of removing of excess moisture after the molding of brick. And after the drying process, that means the excess moisture present in the brick get evaporated by the presence of air in the surrounding atmosphere, after which the brick is ready to get burned and get its red color. Now, first one, that is process of preparation of clay, that is unsoiling. Then that is jigging, cleaning, weathering, blending, and tempering. The first one is unsoiling. The top layer of the soil about 200 depth is extracted out and thrown away. That means it contains impurities, some toxic materials which needed to be separated out from the pure soil. The clay in the top of soil is full of impurities, definitely, and hence it is rejected for the purpose of brick preparing. That means at the depth of 200 the top of the soil is needed to be separate out, thrown away, because it contains all kinds of impurities, the waste material which are dumped on the open ground. Then digging process, the clay is then dug out from the ground and it is separated, spread it on the level ground just a little deeper than a general level, the height of the heap of the clay about 600 mm to 1200 mm. That means the clay which is dug out are spreaded in on the level ground so that the impurities, the moisture present in that extract of soil can be vanished off. Cleaning, then the clay as obtained in the purpose of digging should be cleaned of stone, pebbles, vegetable matters. That means the impurities present in the soil which are spreaded on the level ground should be taken out. That means the no stones or the pebbles material should be present in it. If the present, it needed to be separate out because it may causing a the strength weakens over the brick. If these materials are in excess, the clay is to be washed and screened. Such a process naturally will prove to be the troublesome and expensive. Now weathering. The clay is then exposed to the atmosphere for softening or mellowing. The period varies 4 week, few weeks to some full season. That means it is exposed to the atmosphere, getting softened, that it gets the moisture which is maintain the moisture and water and air level in the soil so that it can be mixed thoroughly and get a good quality of brick. Then blending is the process in which the loose and any ingredient material present in it and spread it out at the tops. It carried out by taking a small amount on every clay and turning it up down during the vertical direction. That means the thorough mixing of the soil clay prepared so that it get form a paste like material, and the any kind of material present in it, pebbles or stones, can be extracted out. The tempering is the process. The clay is brought to the proper degree of hardness. It is made fit for the next operation of molding, kneaded or pressed under the feet of man or cattle. That means the kneading process is done so that the all the layers, all the materials can be thoroughly mixed up. For manufacturing a good brick on a large scale, tempering is done by a pug mill. A pug mill is a process in which all the soil prepared is mixed thoroughly from top to bottom in the vertical direction, and a typical pug mill capable of tempering sufficient of earth for a daily output of 1500 to 20,000 bricks. That means a pug mill can manufacture a brick of 15,000 to 20,000 a brick at a time. Now let's talk about the molding process. The molding process is giving the a clay in a regular shape or size or converting into a brick. Then it can be done in two ways. That is, first one is hand molding and second one is the machine molding. In the hand molding, the bricks are molded by the hands, that is manually. It is adopted where manpower is cheap and readily available for the manufacturing process of brick on a small scale. That means the manpower is used, hand molding is done when the plant or the bricks are prepared or manufacturing on a small scale. Then the local labor is easily available. It is cheap in costing so that the man and hand molding is adopted. The molds are rectangular box which are open at the top and bottom so that it can be easily molded out and extract out. The mold should be made of wood or steel. The strip of brass or steel material is used to fix on the edges and the wooden molds to make them durable. Okay, the two types of material can be used, wood or steel. It is prepared from the combination of steel plates and channel having a thickness of 6 mm. That means the mold is prepared by the steel plates having a thickness of 6 mm at least. They is used manufacturing brick on the large scale. Then steel plates mold are used to prepare or manufacturing large quantity of bricks. Then steel plates are used. If the manufacturing quantity of the brick is low, then wooden plates are used. The steel molds are more durable than wooden because if the wooden table or wooden mold is used, then it can absorb the moisture and it can get deteriorate after the some number of bricks manufactured. Okay, Then the table molding bricks, the process of molding of brick is just similar as above, but in this the mold table stands having a size of 2 meter by 1 meter. That means the width and the length of the table is 2 meter by 1 meter. And on this table, a uniform compression or molding can be done. Okay, the cost of brick also increases when the table molding is adopted. That means the brick manufactured having a uniform shape, size and strength, but the cost of table is added in it and increases the overall cost of molding. Then the machine molding is a type of machine in which a plastic clay machine and dry clay machine, two types of machine are used. Such machine consists of a rectangular opening having a length and width is equal to an ordinary brick. The pugged clay is placed in the machine and it comes out through the rectangular opening. These are cut into strips by the wire fixed at the frame. The arrangement is made in such a way the strip thickness is equal to that obtained and is called a wire cut brick. That means a lay of the paste of the soil is laid on a ground, and the wire cut is that after the fixed interval the wire is cutting and going cut through the layer of the soil and getting the regular size of the brick. Then the dry clay machine molding in this, the stronger clay is finally converted into the powder machine and a small quantity of water is added to get a stiff plastic paste. Then after that such paste is molded and then pressed by a machine to get the dry shape of the brick. Then in this process the drying process is obsoleted because it doesn't require any kind of drying. On the drying process the damp brick is burnt, likely to have a crack and distorted. That means the after the molding process the brick cannot be directly to the burning process because the sudden conversion of moisture from zero to higher that leads to the cracks and distorted shape of the brick. So it requires the process of drying so that the molded bricks are dried before they are taken to the next operation. For the drying of the bricks, the laid longitudinally is stacked of width equal to the two bricks. The stack consists of 10 or 8 tiers. The bricks are laid along the across the stroke and alternative layers. The bricks are placed on the edges and the bricks are allowed to dry until the moisture left in the brick is about 2%. That means it mainly consists of maximum water. On the drying process, the excess moisture is removed until the 2% of moisture is left in it. After that, the burning process is comes, which is conducted at a higher temperature to gain strength, durability, density, and red color appearance. The brick is burned until it's get a cherry red color appearance. The temperature is about 650 degrees to 1100 degrees Celsius to achieve the red color of the brick. The fusing of sand and limes takes place at this temperature. The chemical bonding between these materials after the temperature is cooled result in hard and dense mud. That means during the burning process, sand and limestone is added in this to get the hard dense mass of brick. Then the burning is done in two ways, that is clamping and climbering. Okay, so it is the basic the information all about the how is brick is prepared, what are the process involved in burning, claying, preparing. Then next class I will going to tell you about the uses and characteristics of different materials.